This is Courtney from Iwrestledabearonce, and you're geeking out to Gear Gods.
This is Mike from Iwrestledabearonce, and you're geeking out to Gear Gods.
I'm Mike Stringer from Iwrestledabearonce, and you're geeking out to Gear Gods.
I'm Rick Shaw, and I play in Iwrestledabearonce, and you are geeking out with Gear Gods.
We're in Puke right now, just getting ready to play. And I'm just giving you a quick rundown of what I'm using on the All-Stars Tour. This is my first main guitar. It's a JP6 Ernie Ball. It does have the stock pickups. It's got the crunch slab and liquefier. I honestly have never felt the need to switch them out whatsoever, just because they are really thick sounding, super clear. I have had other pickups before in the past, but they're just perfect for what we do. It's complete. It just cuts perfectly. The body is a basswood body. It's got a maple neck with a rosewood top, and this thing just plays absolutely amazingly. It's exactly what we need for what we do. Other than that, one thing as well I'd like to just point out, this strap, it's made by a company called Comfort Strap. I bought this 5 years ago, and it's still, actually, you know what, 6 years ago, and I've never had to buy another one ever again. These are the best straps in the world. They're amazing. This one right here is my Ernie Ball Majesty, arguably one of the best guitars I've ever played. This guy here actually has illuminator pickups, and when I first got it, again, you know, I thought maybe I should try and see if I would need, you know, different pickups in it, but these are even better than the crunch slab and the liquefiers. They're amazing. One cool thing that I actually did with this guitar is I installed a tremolo, which I use in dive only mode. And essentially what that is just, it makes it so the bridge stays still. I don't really have to do any tweaks on the road, and it still gives me the capability of being able to dive my, my bar, which we do a lot of during our set. It does have the three-way piezo, which is great for really clean stuff. Sometimes I throw it in there when we do a lot of ambient stuff during the set. And as well as, what's really cool is that it has a push-pull of up to 15 decibels of gain on the volume, which is awesome because, you know, we do use a tube screamer, but sometimes when I want to kind of cut a little bit more, I'll throw that on, and it just makes it a little bit louder, which is sweet. This guitar actually is a basswood body. It does have a ebony top, and it has a mahogany through neck, so it just plays ridiculously fast, and I love it. It's amazing. So this is my pedal board. Nothing too crazy going on. I like to keep things somewhat simple. There is some, you know, I do actually have to do quite a bit of patch changing in here, but to start off, I just have a chromatic tuner here. A lot of people actually have been wondering why I use a tube screamer in front as opposed to just in the chain and the axe effects. And you know, I always have used just the one in the chain in the rack unit itself, but for some reason, you know, I've had the 808, the OD808 by Maxon, and I've had a few others, but when I plugged the MXR Berserker into it, it just gave it a certain type of bite and a certain type of thickness that I wasn't getting from a lot of other pedals or anything through the axe. So I've been using that, and I've been absolutely loving it. It sounds super clear. It's great. I have a whammy. This is the Digitech Special Edition. I mean, I kind of only got the chrome one just so I could be able to see my face as I'm playing. I thought that was a really cool feature. No, it's great. It's super awesome. I got a good deal on it, and it's super reliable. It sounds awesome, and I actually do have a gate as well. Yeah, a lot of people as well, you know, have asked me why I'm not just using the gate that's built into the axe effects. I have it on a little bit during the patches, but this just kind of makes it a fail-safe. It makes it so it just, you know, doesn't get completely choked. I find that the smart gate as well, because it has so much functionality to it, it allows me to really kind of hone in on how much of a choke I need. As opposed to the other ones. Like I've had different brands and everything, but this one, the MXR, I don't know how they did it, but they were able to make a gate that lets you just have complete sustain and everything. So that's really awesome. That's a really key part in my rig right now. And we move over to the MFC, and we do have some weird stuff going on through the axe effects. I just kind of try to keep it simple, but sometimes I do have to do a lot of tap dancing. Then I use my main patch here, the ball setting. It's just really thick sounding. Anything that says Puke is just kind of like a half step, the pitch shifter going half step, so it sounds really disgusting and kind of, you know, weird and alien sounding, so that's really cool. And then my tight setting is just the thicker setting of the, like a tighter gated setting of the ball setting. I do have to go through drop E and drop F sharp during the set too, so I use a pitch shifter, and it just gives me my normal tone, but just drop down, so we're able to kind of do a lot of detune stuff, which is cool. We did that a lot on this record. We usually, you know, like sometimes during the song we'll be playing, like our normal tuning is drop B, and then we would actually go down to F and sometimes down to E as well. So this allows me to be able to change tunings just by clicking a button, and it's super clear, and it doesn't actually, you know, it doesn't lose any kind of tonality whatsoever, just because the Axe-Fx is so good. And then anything other than that, I just kind of have clean tones and then just my tight settings there, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple setup, but it sounds awesome.
Tell me about Surf.
Surf is, I use it in one song. I use it in Dog's Real Voices. There's a part, there's like a beach scene kind of going on in the background, and there's like seagulls going and stuff. And this kind of gives me like a 60s kind of, you know, like a 50s or 60s weird, like kind of like tremolo, but kind of really weird sounding clean tone. And we use it on it's a really stupid part, but it's awesome, and it's so much fun to play live. But that's what I use Surf for only like 20 seconds in the set. But yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. So this is my rack. I got just a standard power conditioner, and then that runs through, we plug the Axe-Fx 2 into it. I swear by it. Honestly, I probably will never ever use a tube amp ever again, because it just allows me to do so much, and it is so convenient. It's like having a billion amps, you know, with like a 5-pound weight to it, and it's awesome. It's great. And then for a power amp on this tour, I'm using an Art SLA2, and you know, it's funny because at first when I started reading up on them, some people were saying that it was kind of thin and everything like that, but honestly, I would put this up against a lot of tube power amps. It's a, you know, financially more affordable option, and it really cuts, and it sounds awesome. It's really clean sounding, so it's really important. And yeah, honestly, we usually do go direct, but on this tour I'm running through a cab. We are using the PV 412s on this tour, the Valve King guys, and it sounds awesome.
My name is Mike Montgomery, Mikey. I play drums in a band called Iwrestledabearonce. I'm a Gretch man. A lot of guys in the genre are not, because they're not free, and I'm a very firm believer in you get what you pay for. So I have 3 Gretch kits. One is just kind of a kit that I can't decide whether I want to make cool furniture out of or bring it back to life. It's a Catalina birch kit. Then the kit that I tour with is a Renowned Maple. It's I don't think I'll ever get rid of that kit. That kit could probably catch on fire and roll down a hill, and I'll still play it on tour. And at home to practice, I usually, well, I play on a Gretch Renowned Purewood Hickory. I believe it's in 2006 Gretch started doing a Purewood series. Don't quote me on that year. Purewood series where they started kind of making drum kits out of obscure woods, and I got the year Hickory was made. Beautiful kit. I love it. I actually bring that snare drum with me on stage here in Iwrestledabearonce. The snare, it's like a firecracker. It's probably my favorite snare drum I've ever heard in my life, and I kind of collect snares now. Everything from old Ludwig Acrolites to, I don't know, anything I can get my hands on, pretty much. But the Renowned Maple is probably my favorite kit that I've heard on tour, and I don't always tune it, but it always has a great sound coming out of front of house. I don't know how I'm pretty sure we don't hire sound guys, we hire magicians out front, because sometimes I forget to tune it for a pretty extended period of time. But it always sounds great for some weird reason. I think it's by some form of drum magic or something. the kind folks at Gretch have really put together something nice in the Renowned series, and I mean any series for that matter. If there's ever a time where I settle down and I buy a kit for my kid, it'll definitely be a Gretch, regardless of who's giving me free drums at the time. Like I said, you get what you pay for. Symbol-wise is all Zildjian. Zildjian A customs, A's, K customs, K's. Hardware is mix and match. I kind of pick it up as I go along, and I had to deal with Gibraltar a couple years ago, and I'm kind of a hardware nut. I'm always looking for the bigger, better deal when it comes to that stuff. I always want to know who's innovating gnarly stuff, and you know, it's always a crapshoot because you never know. I mean, the best drum companies out there can have the worst hardware, and that's sadly a fact a lot of times. Pedal-wise is the Tama Iron Cobras. Love those guys. The P900s, chain-driven. They're glorious. And that's you know, of course, sticks and heads. ProMark and Evans. I'm a D'Addario kid for sure. I usually take off all my snare wires and replace them with Pure Sound, speaking of D'Addario, and I can't complain, man. It's always been my kits always sound great, and it's not, you know, it could be a monkey up there smacking on the kit, and it usually is a lot of times, but it always sounds good, and I can't complain. The kind folks at Black Widow sent me a little drum rug, and that thing has been like a saving grace on this tour. Normally I go into a tour thinking, hey, I wonder if I can find a sweet rug at a venue that some idiot left behind, because by the end of the tour, I'm the idiot that leaves the rug. So I always need a new one. But this Black Widow is so compact, it's perfect. I can set it, it's like completely customizable. It's really, really awesome.
Hi, I'm Rick Shaw from Iwrestledabearonce. We're here in Pico Rivera. Is that how you say it? Pico Rivera? We're here on the All Stars tour, and we're gonna show you some of the shit we play on. This is my baby, my new baby. This is an Esp Surveyor, and I am absolutely in love with it. They said, hey, we have a Surveyor in a crazy blue color, and I was like, send me that shit right now.
That's right.
And I don't know, I'm just really enjoy it. It's fucking awesome. It's heavy as shit, and it is heavy. I meant heavy playing wise, but this is a kind of a heavy bass. But I'm used to that. I've got a strong back, so it's a 5-string. The assholes I'm in a band with do stuff in F sharp, so now I play a 5-string with this being F sharp, which most people tell me is almost an inaudible note.
I can hear it now, though.
But they don't know. They don't know about metal like we do. This is an ESP also. It's an E2, and it's my backup baby. Whenever my other one fails me, this is the one I use. And this is also a 5-string, and I love this one too. So we do the swoop. I play the LH1000, the hard key. It's 1,000 watt, all that good stuff. And I also play through Sans Amp, and that's what I use.
Are you going direct, or do you have a cab?
Yeah, I go direct, but I have a hard key cab that I play through for, not on this tour. They're using PV stuff. So, but yeah, on a normal basis, I play an 810 hard key. So and it's pretty awesome. It's got the 10 cone in it, so it gives it a lot of good mids and highs and stuff.
I'm Courtney, I'm the vocalist for Iwrestledabearonce, and this is my super cool Sennheiser E945 series microphone. There's the E945 and the E935. They're both really good microphones, especially if you're doing screaming vocals and you don't have in-ear monitors and you're relying on the wedge in the front. This thing is definitely the most minimal feedback microphone I've ever used. I almost feel like I have a compressor running even when I don't. And I usually do when I'm playing, but If you're like starting out and you don't have a sound guy running all that stuff on you, get this microphone. It's awesome. It's also great if you switch back and forth between screaming and singing, which not a lot of people do, but it has a really nice tone for like clean vocals as well. But this is really impressive to me just for the compression and the really minimal feedback. I recommend this thing. And it has the paw on it. And lipstick stains.